3.6 is solving systems using matrices. For this section, if you could grab a graphing calculator so you can follow along, that would be helpful. So to start off with, we're going to just go through a little bit about what a matrix is and how to identify it by its dimensions and its elements. So I have this matrix A. Okay, and notice a matrix is just a rows and columns of numbers, okay, with brackets around the outside. Now for this one, the dimensions of this matrix, notice how there's 3 different rows. So it's a 3, and then there's 4 different columns. So left to right is a row, up and down are columns. So we would say it's a 3 by 4 matrix if I wanted to know what the dimensions of this matrix are. And then if I wanted to know an element, so this is saying in matrix A, what is in the second row, third column. So if I go to the second row, this is the middle row right here, third column, so column 1, 2, 3, it would be an 8 there. In the second row, third column. So 8 would be the element in that slot. So let's try another one. I want to know third row, so 1, 2, 3, third row, first column. So there would be a -3 there in that spot. Now, from here, I'm going to give you a system of equations. Okay, so these should look familiar. We've solved for a system of equations. I'm going to show you how to solve it instead of using substitution, elimination, or graphing by now using matrices, so your calculator. So to start off with, we're just going to practice getting it into a matrix, and then we'll go from there of putting the matrix into the calculator so it can solve it for you. So to go from equations to a matrix, you need to make sure your like terms are lined up. Your last column has to be your answer column. So this is our x column, our y column, and then our answer column. And we just put the coefficients when we put it into our matrix. We don't put the variables with it. So 2, 1, and then 9. 1, -6, and -1. So this would be our matrix. It's going to be a 2 by 3, and then I'll show you later how to type it into your calculator. So this next one, there's 3 equations, 3 variables. So we go, this first one, there's no number in front of the x, we just put a 1. So it's 1x minus 3y plus z equals 6. So I put 1, -3, 1, and 6. Now this next one, it goes x and then z. Notice there's no y there. So I'm going to put a 0 there. So it'd be 1, 0, 3, and then my answer column, which is 12. Now this one, I need to get the x and y on the same side. So I'm going to add my 5x over here. Those cancel out. So I have 5x plus y. And then there is no z, so I just put a 0 there equals 1. So I'd have 5, 1, 0, and 1. So this is my x column, my y column, my z column, and then my answer column. Okay, let's do one more of these ones. So it's a 2 by 3. I just put the numbers out in front, so -4, -2, and 7, 3, 1, and -5. Okay. Now from here, let's go reverse order. So if I give you the matrix and I ask for the equations, remember that it goes your x column, your y column, and then your answer column. So this would be just 5x plus 2y equals 7, or 0x plus 1y equals 9. Now we don't need 0x plus y, so it'd just be y equals your 9. The next one, 2, 0, 6, 5, -2, 1. So this would be our x column, our y column, and then our answer column. So it'd be 2x, again we don't need the 0y, so 2x equals 6. And then 5x minus 2y equals 1. Now these next couple, we're going to actually start putting them into our calculator. So again, this is just another method of solving linear systems. So we first need to go from our equations to our matrix, and this is then what we're going to type into our calculator. So we practice those. We know now how to get it into the matrix. Now let's practice how to go from there, putting it into our graphing calculator. So you'll notice right here, the fourth button down in this first column, it says matrix above it. Anytime it says something above it that we want, we need to click this second button first. So we go second matrix. Okay, so second matrix, then we go over to edit, then we click enter. And then it asks for the dimensions, so it's a 2 by 3. So 2, enter, 3, enter. After each number that we type, we need to click enter. And then we type in these numbers. So we need to go 1, enter, 4, enter, -1, enter, 2, enter, 5, enter, 4, enter. Now make sure before you go any further, check to see if all those numbers are correct. If they're not correct, then the calculator's not going to know the correct equations, so it won't give you the correct answer. So once you have them typed in, click graph clear, get out of that screen, then go second matrix again. So then now we go to the middle column. We are going to go down to where it says RREF. Make sure the one above it is REF. We want the RREF. Click enter, then second matrix again, and then we typed it into matrix A, so we're going to have matrix A highlighted. Click enter. Click enter. Now this left-hand side where the ones are diagonal, zeros are everywhere else, that tells us there is a solution. So we want to always have ones diagonal from upper left to lower right-hand corner and zeros elsewhere. And then the right-hand side, this 7, -2, that's our x and our y. So x is 7 and y is -2. So we write that as our answer, 7, -2. That if we were to graph this, this would be where they crossed, or if we did it by substitution or elimination. So let's try another one. So we need to, put it as a matrix. I already have that for us, going from the equations to the matrix. Now we want to type this in. So again, we're going to go to second matrix, go over to where it says edit, click enter. This is a 2 by 3 also, so 2, enter, 3, enter. Then we type it in. So we have 9, enter, -2, enter, 5, enter, 3, 7, and 17. And then once we have it typed in, we go to graph and clear, just get out of that screen, go to second matrix, go to the middle, go down to RREF, click enter. And then second matrix one more time. I always use matrix A just so I don't forget which one I typed it into, but if you use an edit, let's say matrix C, then right here now you would use matrix C. The ones are diagonal, so this one has a solution, and the solution is 1, 2. Now, if your equation is just 2 equations, 2 variables, it might be quicker to use substitution or elimination or graphing. Okay, where the graphing calculator is going to come really in handy though, think of how long it took to solve the 3 equations, 3 variables. So let's try one like this using our graphing calculator. So we have our matrix. We went from our equations to our matrix. Make sure when it goes from A and then skips to C, there's no B here, so we need to put a 0 there. Don't put a 1 there. If there's no number in front of a variable, that's when you're putting 1. Okay, so let's type in this matrix. So we go to second matrix, go over to edit. Now this one is instead of 3 by 4, so we need to change that part. Then we type in each of the numbers. Make sure after each number we click enter. Alrighty, now once we get these numbers typed in, we go to graph clear, then second matrix, go to the middle column, go down to RREF, second matrix again, and then I typed it in matrix A. Okay, and so this tells us there is a solution. The ones are diagonal, zeros are everywhere else, and this is our A, B, and our C. So our A is a half, or 0.5, our B is 0.6 repeating, or 2/3, and our C is 2. So then that is our answer. You can put it as a fraction or a decimal.